You've won title after title. You've beaten the world's best. You've evolved with the sport. You've been trying, mixed martial arts. You've gone through everybody that you faced there. What have you noticed then through the top tier athletes? Is there similarities in the top performers that you've noticed? Is there things that people don't understand about that level of performance? What does it take to compete at that level, from instead of being a hobbyist but to actually being a competitor? What makes guys like yourself, Gordon Ryan, Keenan, and these sort of people such high quality competitors?
A lot of times people look at the world's best in any given field, and they can automatically just say, "Oh, well, he's so gifted or talented, or there's natural ability," and they kind of wrap it all up into that. They just, well, he's incredibly gifted, and they think it only comes down to the talent, and that's why they're so successful. But everyone has a story. Every single great in any craft or whatever, they all have a story. And inside that story, there was risk, there was doubt, there was fear, there was moments where they had to go all in, they had to make tough decisions. And then, of course, there's an incredible amount of sacrifice and dedication, blood, sweat, and tears. Everyone has a story. Everyone had to basically devote every moment of their life into their passion to get to where they are. There's no other way. There's no other way. And yeah, everyone has that. Whether it's going into debt because they completely invested everything they had. They had to make a tough decision to move to another area of the world, away from their families, to learn and have a mentor and get access to training or whatever it may be to help them get better. Everyone experiences failures, obstacles that they have to overcome. Every single person has that. And of course, just an incredible work ethic. You have to be a perfectionist. You have to be obsessed. You can never be complacent or content with where you are. There always has to be that hunger inside of you to keep getting better, which can only exist if you are 100% completely in love with what you're doing, and you're doing it for the right reasons. Then all of these things just have a perfect sort of alignment, and anything can happen. Anything is possible, but it's never easy. It's never a smooth road by any means. And I think that that's what a lot of people can see, or they just see the victories. They just see the celebrations or whatever. Maybe they weren't there for the dark times, the hard times, or the behind the scenes that a lot of people don't know. Like just even in my fight camps, in MMA, every camp has its own story, right? And then there's the bigger story of getting to a world champion level, right? That's sort of the big story. And someone could look at my record and say, "Oh, he had it easy. He never lost 10 fights. He went all the way up to the top, and it was smooth sailing." But literally every fight camp had its own drama, had its own ups and downs, injuries, hard moments, questions and whys, and, fears and doubts. And then you look at my title fight itself, that camp alone is like a lifetime worth of hardship in one camp. And no one knew what I was going through until I came out about it, months later. But, that's just an example. And that's just one fight, one little small piece in the whole big piece of what is my journey. But everyone has that. Every single person has that. And so, going back to what I was talking about earlier, about finding your passion and your why, and then committing to it and all that. Like, you just got to understand that, hey, adversity is part of it, and it's a good thing, because it just makes you stronger. It makes you have a deeper connection to your whys. And you just learn from every adversity, every obstacle, every temporary failure, and you keep going. And then that becomes your story, and your story is beautiful, right? Everyone's story can be beautiful. And any obstacle just makes it that much juicier. You're living your own movie, and you get to be the narrator. You get to say when it ends and how it ends.
And do you think that's a sort of a problem, is that people aren't in love with their story? They don't understand. They're letting other people write it because they don't know what they want from life or the enjoyment from life. Because, I mean, you're like highly successful champion, you've won title after title, but then you got the devastating diagnosis, which, you've come through with such resilience and positiveness about it. And, I really hope you recover well from it. But how have you dealt with that possibility that you might not be able to compete in MMA again? How's that changed your story? Or are you just assuming with your mental positivity, I'll make the story what I want it to be in life? What would you say to people who are having a similar kind of experience?
Well, within difficulty lies opportunity. And the quote that I said on the Joe Rogan show, every adversity carries with it the seed of an equivalent advantage. So, I mean, at the end of the day, it sounds so simple. Obviously, it's not. But you have to train yourself every day to get to the point where you have unshakable positivity, unbreakable positivity, being resilient, not giving up, staying strong, being able to dig deep, and all those sort of things just comes down to staying positive, never giving up, not, you always have faith, you always believe. And maybe it feels like something could be taken away from you, or something isn't fair. But if you're able to stay positive and keep an open mind, you never know how that could be redirecting you to something that is even bigger and better, if you stay open to it and try to see what the possibilities are, what the new opportunity is, and that is being resilient, and it takes training. I feel like as martial artists, we have a bit of an advantage in that realm, because, a black belt is a white belt who never quit. It's so obvious that if you keep coming, if you keep showing up, one day you will become a black belt. There's no way around it. If you never give up, you're going to achieve it. It's just a matter of time, right? And sometimes things will happen that where you had this plan and you had this time frame laid out, and something's going to happen that's going to change the direction, and maybe things take more time than what you wanted or whatever. But it's just part of making you who you are, and help you have a deeper connection to your whys and your story, your journey, and gives you more to share, more to say. They're like in jiu-jitsu, for example, you could get injured, things happen that could expand the amount of time that it takes you to get to black belt, but you're still going to get there one day. And, I think as far as, the fight camp itself, and everything, that I got hit with and going through there, I had to accept, of course, the possibility that I wasn't going to get approved to fight, and just be grateful. Of course, it was going to be heartbreaking if I didn't get that opportunity to fight. And it was even heartbreaking afterwards, of course, to get to the top and then have to stop. But I had already found such a deep level of gratitude. And I think that's so important as well. Like, really, to be able to stay positive or be happy, I think is so directly tied to your sense of gratitude. And for me, understanding this condition and how it could be so extreme to where children that have what I have, sometimes they have to have multiple brain surgeries before they're even teenagers, because it is so life threatening and it is so bad. And here I am already with such a wonderful life of living my passion and fighting 9 fights, and basically getting hit in the head my whole life, and I had no issues. And so I had to just like slap myself in the face a little bit and be like, man, what can I complain about? How can I ever complain about this? Yes, there's the why is this happening to me type of a thing, but at the end of the day, I was still in perfect health, and I still am today. I mean, I'm not perfect, but I don't have symptoms. I don't have seizures. I don't. I've never been in a coma. I mean, I don't even get headaches. I don't need a surgery right now, and hopefully it stays that way. And so that was something that I had to okay, I need to be grateful that this isn't worse. Grateful that I've got to do all the fights that I did have. Grateful that I've learned everything that I've learned. Grateful that I've had my family and these beautiful people on this journey with me thus far, and they're going to love me no matter what. And that gratitude allowed me to be content, and accept whatever possibly could happen. But then it also gave me the strength. It also gave me the strength to keep going and not give up and keep seeing doctors and keep believing that the commission was going to approve me, and keep training in the middle of this camp that was just everything was going wrong. But it gave me the strength, because I felt like, okay, at the same time I could accept it, but I also felt like I had to keep going for us, and because we all deserved that opportunity to become world champions. And it got me through it, and everything worked out. And of course, it was really hard and sad to then later on hear that, no commission was going to approve me again, and blah, 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 blah. But we had that one, and once again, how can I complain? Of course I cried, and I was sad, and I couldn't imagine having to retire like that, but at the same time, the journey was beautiful, and we got that fight. And so I just think that gratitude is so tied into being positive, and being able to stay positive is so tied into knowing your why. When you know your why, it gives you strength. And when you're giving everything you have, then you deserve it. And if you know you deserve it, you're going to keep your faith. And if you keep your faith, you stay positive, and then it circles back around, and then you're happy, and then you're grateful again. It's just all tied together. Everything comes from inside. It's all in your mind and your heart.